Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my review of the third Avatar movie in the franchise, Avatar Fire and Ash, which is directed by James Cameron and stars Sam Worthington, Zoë Saldaña, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang and Kate Winslet. This, along with two other movies, were on the list of my most anticipated movies of the year, that being 28 Years Later and Tron 3. So I've been excited for this one for a long time, and we've had to wait the entire year to get to it. But it's good it hasn't taken as long as, say, the gap between 1 and 2. That's always a plus. So obviously I'm a fan of the previous Avatar films. The first one, Avatar, came out in 2009, and the second one came out in 2022. But The Way of Water and this one were shot back to back. Okay, so what did I think of the movie? I've got a lot to say about it, actually. On the whole, I really enjoyed the film. It's just like the other two. It's got really cool action scenes. The visuals, as you'd expect from James Cameron, are something special, and they actually do take it up another notch. I did actually find some of the visuals even stronger in this one than the previous one, but certainly more than the first one. I think for me, one of the strongest things this movie has going for it was actually how it advanced the characters from The Way of Water, especially to do with Jake Sully's family. We've got a lot more screen time with them individually, probably except for Took, the smallest one. She probably was the least amount, she was probably more the character that's just in peril and not much else. But Kiri, the character played by Sigourney Weaver, they certainly explored that character a lot more. I really like what they did with Spider, and it was quite surprising where they sort of went with his character. And I thought it really added something to the story as a whole, the jeopardy of the planet, which I won't go into detail on, and just the importance of that character overall. I thought that was explored very well. Zoë Saldaña as Neytiri just gets better and better in every one of these movies I see her in. She's such a badass, and it shows it so in this movie, just like it did in The Way of Water. The thing I was most concerned about for this film was the runtime. This clocks in at a massive 3 hours and 20 minutes, or just under that, and you do feel the length of it. The pacing is actually quite good. It did hold my attention throughout the whole movie, except for in this one it's not handled as well, in that what happens is it's like characters get captured, they get away and get recaptured, then they get captured again and they get recaptured. It's kind of like that, and it does repeat a lot of the story beats and plot points of what the second movie did. And knowing how long The Way of Water was, it was kind of strange for them to do that in this movie. That's only a slight gripe. On the whole, I really had a good time with this film. It was also very interesting what they did with Stephen Lang's character, who plays Colonel Quaritch. He kind of keeps switching between good side and bad side, and you kind of got a little bit of that kind of vibe that it was kind of going that way in The Way of Water, and it really does, it's interesting to see him sort of go through that exploration of that. Probably one of our weakest characters, unfortunately, in this movie was Vrang, I think that's her name, the new character who comes from the Ash people from the volcano. She was very kind of one note. She kind of popped in and out of the story at times. I did like her, but we just didn't really get enough of her and her motivations and why she is the way she is. There's some sort of drop lines there to kind of explain it, and I guess that's enough to sort of know who she is and what she's about. But I think to fill her threat of her character, we could have seen a bit more there. The reason we don't get so much of her character is because this movie has a real hard time juggling around so many characters. Think about it, you've got all the people from The Way of Water, and now you've got a couple of new people thrown in, and what ends up happening is you get characters just sort of blink in and out of the story. The main focus is probably put where it probably should be, and that is Jake Sully and his family. But people like Vrang and others, maybe Vrang should have probably been given a little bit more screen time, and maybe some of the antagonist humans in the movie as well. I did like the story. I'm not going to say it's a negative for it or actually a positive. It was on point. I liked it. It's just that when the movie ends, it probably is in the same place as where it began. And I have heard talk of, is this the final film, or are they actually going to make Avatar 4 and 5? I'm very much down for 4 and 5. I would really like to see what they do with it. But if they were to stop here, yes, you could absolutely stop here. It never feels like, as the movie ends, it doesn't feel like it's wrapping up storylines and characters. It kind of just ends, a little bit like the way Avatar 2 does. and that's why I mean by it kind of ends in the same place it began. But definitely the positives most certainly outweigh the negatives for me. If you're not a fan of Avatar 1 and 2 and you're looking for this one to jump on board, I don't think this is going to do it for you. In fact, I think it's going to frustrate you further. But if you're like me and you really was just looking forward to seeing a continuation of the story, then definitely full thumbs up for that. So where do I rank this movie? Well, on the whole, I had a really good fun time watching it, and that says something considering the length of the movie. Of course, I must point out the negatives in that, yes, this movie most definitely could have been shorter. There is so much fat that you could have chucked out of this movie, just like The Way of Water was as well. So I would probably put this between good and very good. I'm probably going to say good. I'm not going to lie, this movie does have problems. But because I'm a fan of the film franchise, it definitely is a good fun time at the movies. So yeah, good time from me. So have you watched Avatar Fire and Ash, or are you planning to see it? Where would I rank this in terms of the other Avatar films? I would still have to say that Avatar, the first one, is probably the strongest entry for me. And the reason is because of the runtime. It feels a lot tighter. I have found myself watching that movie a number of times, and not in 3D, and I still really, really enjoy it. Avatar: The Way of Water, I enjoy where it takes the story. It's still a really fun time, but because of its length, I find myself watching that just a little bit less. If you have seen the new movie, where would you rank it amongst the other Avatar films? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far in the video, do give us a like and subscribe, and if you like what you're watching, then you can check out my other playlists for everything surrounding movies. Things like movie reviews, movie rankings, movie locations, and lots more. I want to thank you again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.